everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today from our friends at Ciao, I have this amazing cookbook themed junk journal and ephemera book. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't wait to show you everything that's in here. There are stickers, there are cutout pockets, there are envelopes, and there are just beautiful, beautiful papers. This is an example. One of the cards I made. I have lots of other things to show you too. This is our giveaway card for this episode, so if you stick around, you'll learn how one lucky viewer can win this card to keep, share with a friend. So come play with us. Well, let's see. You are going to get cut and create 160 plus images for junk journal, collage, scrapbooking, card making, and paper crafts. And there are 4 pages of transparent adhesive pages, so stickers. So all of these pieces right here are cutouts, and then you fold them. I would encourage you to use a scoreboard along the fold lines, and then they're great for pockets to adding to the inside of your cards or for junk journals and things like that, and I'll show you examples of that. This entire page right here is a sticker. Let me see if I can just peel this and show you. Anyway, you would just cut them out using some tiny scissors. Nope, it's not going to let me do it. Here, I'll show you on this one. So you would just take this page and then your scissors, I've already lost, here we are, and then you would just cut out. I like to just cut them out kind of haphazardly. Just get them out of the book, just like this. And then I go around with my tiny scissors. That's what's really important. And you can either cut around these with a little bit of a border, okay, a little bit of a white border, or you can just cut right up next to the image. It's totally up to you. And you'll notice when I'm cutting this out that I'm turning the sticker, turning the image or the paper and not the scissors. And this allows me to cut very quickly. Now there's a shadow here on the bottom. You can include that shadow like this, or you can just trim it off. And then we're gonna go around this side. I'll leave that shadow just like this. And then I'm gonna go back and like trim off that border because I've decided I don't want the white border. And that's how you do that. And then I like to use a little pokey tool just to help me get it started as far as peeling that off. It makes such a big difference. And then there is your cute little sticker. Comes right off, and you can just layer that so easily. So there's my little tip on cutting these out. It can look intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. So I love all the like bakery items, the sort of cookbook items, the savory items. So if you're a cook or you know somebody who is, this one is for you. Look at all of the beautiful ingredients and all of the cookbooks. Look at the papers inside, beautiful. Cutting out things like stacked pots, and then of course the stove, all the embellishments, the refrigerator. And then here's an example of like, you could use this on a cover of a book that you're doing, or you could use these as pages to go on the inside. You could cut them right down the center, or you could fold them. So it's great about junk journal things. Cutting out these items. Now that just looks like a lot to cut out. I would do it the same way I do for stickers. Just get this out of the book, cut close to it, and then use your scissors to go around. I like to ink the edges a little bit with a little bit of brown ink. It softens that white edge. Here we've got these 4 different cut apart pages. Those are really fun to use. More cooking. I'm going to show you examples of how to use like this lady cooking in her kitchen. The gingham is so nice to add there, and then the little recipe pages. Here's another sheet of stickers. All of these little tags, and then here are these little pockets to cut out and fold. And then these are just, they just look delicious, these pages. And then all of these little baked items. And that's another beautiful page for your junk journal, your cards. And then the beautiful kitchen, all the other items. These just look so beautiful. And then we're getting into some that are like blue and white. So I love that they kind of mix up the color scheme in this. Really, really beautiful. Okay, and here we have sort of the garden kitchen. Once again, this is like for bakers, has all these baking options. These are all little corner tuck spots where you fold these flaps in, and then you can tuck things in here. another baking here, and then on the other side of this page, another whole sheet of stickers. These are all little tags and pockets. Some more pages, and then all the little cutouts. This one's a beautiful one of just like beautiful baking tabletop here. And then finally, this is another page of stickers. And then I love this part. You've got all of these pieces with little recipe cards and tags. We're going to fold this out. Here's a little envelope. I'm going to show you that later. Here's another little envelope piece. Just really, really fun. And then it folds out again like this. Isn't that great? And then on the opposite side, it's just got this wood grain. All right, so you guys, lots to show you. This one was our giveaway card that I told you about. So I'm going to tell you about the card first, and then I'll tell you about the giveaway. So this is 5 by 6.5 inches. I used to use some of their background paper, and then at the top and the bottom, I added, these are our fancy lace border dazzle stickers, and they just peel off with the nicest little lacy edge, just like that. And I just put it at the top and the bottom. And then this teacup right here came with the paper, okay, that was here. And I just covered that, added the stickers. And then this piece, and then these little blueberries right here, those are all stickers that I cut out. And I just put those right there. And then this, of course, a little cupcake that I cut out and foam taped. This is a little tag I cut out and I foam taped that right there. 2 more tags. This one is, I inked the edges of these with a little bit of cocoa bean, and then I used my little applicator tool and just added that to the entire, all the edges of the card, which was really nice, but then the tags as well. This tag is glued, and this one is foam taped. There's another little sticker right here that I added. It just looks like a little push pin or something that kind of made it look like it was stuck there. And then this one, Miss You, is from our brown script greeting dazzle stickers. And they are right over here. And this comes in a 3-pack. And I found that this little collection in the browns came really, it just goes together really nicely with this whole collection. So yeah, this one is really fun and easy to put together. So how we work our card giveaway is we are promoting our Paper Wishes YouTube channel. So if you're watching us on our Paper Wishes webisode page, just hop on over to YouTube and you can search Paper Wishes, and then we ask you subscribe to our Paper Wishes channel on YouTube, and then like this video with a thumbs up, leave us a comment. And then after about a week, we'll reply to one viewer by saying, congratulations, YouTube username blank. So you gotta know your YouTube username. And in case you can't remember it, it's the one that's on your YouTube page when you signed up, and it's also what labels your comment when you leave one. So you can always go back and look at your comment to see what your username is to remind you. It's a good idea to hit the notification bell at the top right-hand corner, because we do 3 of these videos a week, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You have to participate in each one separately to win a card. But that gives you 3 chances to win, and you want to hear the announcement when we make it. So if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know that you have a message that someone is trying to reach you. So yeah, we'll send this to you in a little happy mail. The next card, this one is a Slimline 10-fold card, meaning that it's tall, but the fold is at the top instead of the side. And this one is just about 4 inches by 8.5 inches tall. And for this one, I use that really pretty gingham paper, and then one of the little recipe cards is already on that gingham paper. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Here we go. So I used this one right there, okay? And then just inked the edges with that cocoa bean ink in my blending tool. And then here's an example of just cutting out one of the pieces here that has this woman cooking. I kind of roughly cut it out with my scissors, and then I went around and I just made little tears in the paper. Okay, so it just looked a little bit more rustic, and I inked the edges of those tears and I glued that there. Here is an open recipe book. I glued that overlapping, and then here's a sticker, and here's a sticker, and I just overlapped those. And then these pieces down here, you've got the little canning jars and the basket and things. These are all cutouts, and I foam taped those at the bottom edge. And then if we look inside, you'll see I took a little bit of what was left over at the bottom here, and I just tore that edge and I glued that there, added another one of those stickers from our brown lace, dazzle stickers along the top. These are just cut out pieces. And then right here, this is this piece right here. And I just sort of roughly cut this out, and then I just peeled off the sticker and added it at the bottom of the card. And then here are some of those sending smiles, the same greeting I was showing you before on the first card. You get 3 sheets and they're all different, okay? So that's really nice. You get lots of choices and sentiments. All right, so let's move on. Oh, I wanted to show you the pocket that I did, just a little envelope. And this one right here folds up so nicely. It has all the little baked goods on it. So we're just gonna undo the ribbon just like this. And I just used a little bit of this dark pink or magenta ribbon to tie it. And I inked, once I cut this out, I inked all the edges with that cocoa bean ink. You open it up, and look, inside there's a little gift card pocket. And this is also part of the collection. And you just fold it on the little fold lines. Using the scoreboard really does help with the folding. And then I just glued that on the little flaps, and then this little Starbucks card can just be added. What a cute little gift just to bring to a friend. Maybe you're just seeing them on their birthday and you're like, oh, I have a little gift. Oh, and I forgot to mention this little piece right here is also, here we go. This is this piece. I cut it out, I inked the edges, and then I just glued it right here, and I added these black tiny words and phrases dazzle stickers for happy birthday on there. So just a really quick gift that you can do, and this book is just full of little charming things like that. All right, I wanted to show you another option for what you can do, and then we're going to build a card together on this as well. So we have this new product. It's a mixed media journal. It's from Studio Light, and what I love about it is it's got this elastic band, okay, so that you can easily keep it closed. It would be a great travel journal too. And then when you open this up, there is a little pocket right here, and you can just undo this. So I made a little cookbook out of this. And I thought, how great to do this for the holidays. Maybe somebody younger in your family who is really interested in cooking and you want to pass down family recipes. Why not make photocopies or even put the original little recipe cards you could stick right in here. Okay, that would be really a sweet thing to do. But then also, I always encourage you guys, no matter what you think of your own writing, record your writing somewhere. My mother had the most beautiful writing, and I love looking at her recipe cards, and I love looking at notes that she's left. So definitely keep those somewhere for, you know, the next generation. So here's a little cutout of one of the little kitchen setups. Notice how I inked the edges brown. And then this one, I just cut out one of those pages that had, it was sort of a divided, this one right here. Okay, so I just cut this side down to fit my page. And then on this outside corner, I just used our little corner rounder, little corner punch, so that it matched the round of the corner on the book. And then this is straight edge, and then this one is rounded. And I just glued that right there. And then we're going to open this up to the inside page. Took the other side of this page right here, did the same thing here. And on the corners, you'll notice that I've got these great little spirally corners, and these are called coiled corners. You can buy this by the sheet at Paper Wishes. And I put one here and here. This is another cutout, and then I layered like another piece here and an onion here. Inked the edges of that, and then that's got the little sticker there, and then right here just added here. So my thought was, you can write recipes down right here. Use your handwriting, write them down. What a beautiful collection this would be, right? And then here we've got one of the stickers, okay? And then another one of those little coil pieces. Here's some of that beautiful paper that I was showing you that's included, and I literally just tore out a corner of it and then rounded this corner, inked the edges, and then I glued it on the sides. Here's one of the cutout little cards, and then this is just an index card, and I rounded the corners here and then inked the entire thing with brown, and then this is just one of the little cutout pieces, and then I added one of those little quails. So just adding a little note here or adding the recipe there, and then just tucking those in. And then this is a sticker right here. You could do the entire thing like this, and it would just be really simple embellishments and your handwritten recipes. So I think that would be a beautiful gift to give for the holidays. Okay, so now let's move on. We're going to build a card. I've got my elements ready here. Oh, I have all these things that I've cut out. And I cut these out last week and I have no memory of what I'm doing with them. So we'll just wing it. All right, so I've got these little craft paper doilies, which I love. And we have 2 different sizes of these, you guys. And I'll put both of them down below the video. So it really does not... It doesn't matter which one you use. This is the 4-inch size, and this is the 3.5-inch size. And you wouldn't think they would make a big difference, but one is just a little bit more delicate. But if we're out of one, you could absolutely use the other. And I think the craft color looks so beautiful on this. So I've covered my 6.5 by 5-inch card with this beautiful blue and white tile paper. And I do know I want to add one of these here. And then I wanted to add my kitchen right here. That would be so cute. But then I also have this blue and white like china set, which I thought was adorable to add. And then I've got this lady, and I cut her out and inked that edge as well. That would be really pretty to put there. And then I've got this little bouquet of flowers. That would be adorable. Just to add those just like that. And then I've got this little plate, and we could add that right there. So I really like how that looks. But then you know what? We could go back and we could just add this here. We could add this here. We could add this right here. Just kind of give it a different look altogether. Okay, you could put your greeting right up here, and then we could add this part right here to overlap. And then we can put a lot of things on the inside. So let's glue these things down. You just really have so many options about what to do with these pieces. I just sat there and watched TV, and I had my little mini scissors. And I just cut out some things. I think just if you like cutting things out, then these Ciao books are just an amazing find. We're going to put that right there. And you don't even need to add any foam tape to this. That can just go right here. But if you wanted to add a little foam tape, she can just be overlapped right there. And then I'm going to go get my giant wheel of foam tape right here. Oops, end is separating. Okay, and I am going to put this little bouquet of flowers right there, just overlapping that. And then this piece up here I think would look really nice foam taped as well. Just overlapping right there. And then you guys, we can go into the inside. I had this little scrap right here left over. I thought how cute to add that. And we've got all these other little pieces. So we could just go like this. That would look really cute. There we go. And then we could just add that right there. And I'm just using Cosmic Shimmer glue in this little applicator bottle. And it just, I find I use less glue that way. There we go. And then like, remember that little cookie sticker that I had at the very beginning? Let's just take that, add that right there. And then I've got this piece right here, which is so nice for a little gift card. Let's say at the top, Here's a little recipe. And you could absolutely add something like at the top right there, and then just tuck in a little gift card. And then you just add a little greeting right across the top here, or not. You guys, a fabulous collection. I hope you really do check it out. I think this one will be really great for upcoming gifts, birthdays, things like that. If you have somebody in your life that likes to cook, then I think this would be a really lovely thing to either buy for them or to make lovely gifts for them. Okay, so definitely check out the Money Saver. It's right there on the right-hand side if you're watching us on our Paper Wishes webisode page. If you want to know more about like where to find this mixed media journal, that's there. All the Dazzle stickers, everything else is listed down below the video. And Money Saver on the right-hand side. If you're watching us over on YouTube, just look below the video in the description box and you'll see the link that will take you back to this Paper Wishes webisode page. Thanks for joining me, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.